Good day, everyone. We are Group 3 and we are here to present our action plan as a UN peacekeepers. To formally start, may I call on Ms. Claire Sanchez to start a discussion.
Next slide, press. Next pa. What is United Nations peacekeeping do? UN peacekeeping assists host countries in becoming more resilient to conflict, laying the groundwork for long-term peace, including by addressing conflict root causes. Peacekeepers protect civilians, actively prevent conflict, reduce violence, strengthen security, and empower national authorities to do so. This necessitates a well-coordinated security and peace-building strategy that complements the political strategy. May I call on Ms. Grace Ann Casinilla to furtherly discuss the scenario of the United States peacekeepers.
So, assuming that we are the peacekeeping force, we are tasked to establish our presence, list down the things that we need to prepare, and come up with a measure to keep the peace within countries A and B, which have been at war against each other for 50 years over a big area of land, which is consist of rich resources and people with unclear nationalities that is located in the country's border. Exhausted by the war, the two sides agreed for a temporary truce. It shows that the two sides are hoping to be turned into a lasting peace with the help of us, the peacekeeping force.
Next na yung yung project plan na i-present. Pa-scroll lang konti, press pa baba, hanggang dun sa may 3. Diyan na lang muna, press. So, good day. I am Claire R.B. Sanchez. I will be the one to discuss the project and programs for police and military generation. So, here are some projects or programs to help bring peace or stand between the two countries as police and military. First is strengthen and rebuild security. It is extremely important in peacekeeping so that people in two opposed countries can once again have the assurance that they are safe despite that the war that has occurred in their country. The objectives is disarmament on both sides of the country. Second is protect civilians and UN staff and facilities. Second project, enhance patrolling. It will be easier to avoid the chaos that can occur in both countries with enhanced patrolling. In addition to avoiding potential chaos, people will have the assurance that they are safe. Objective for enhanced patrolling is to prevent and stop the occurrence of threats, to ensure that the commotion on both sides is brought to a halt. So, third project is promoting human rights. Promoting human rights will give them dignity, respect, and equality as a nation. Promoting human rights will also give them power, allowing them to speak up and challenge for treatment for a public authority. Objective for the objective for promoting human rights is gain an understanding of their human rights, inform states or countries of their obligations to uphold the rule of law and enforce human rights. Participants: approximately 5,000 police and 5,000 military personnel each country. Each country has 2,500 police and military personnel. There is no need for a large number of police and military personnel because their job is to bring back the peace to the two opposed countries. Department and agency concerned. First, Department of Peacekeeping Operation or DPKO. The Department of Peacekeeping Operation is tasked with the planning, management, deployment, and support of UN peacekeeping operations in partnership with the Department of Field Support. or DFS, which aims to bring peace and stability to conflict zones around the world. Department of Field Support, or DFS, to assist nations in promoting peace and security. DFS provides assistance in the areas of finance, logistics, information, communication and technology, ICT, human resources, and general administration. Also, DFS cooperates with both UN and non-UN partners to plan, mobilize, and sustain operation in the world's most challenging environments. The services provided by the department range from budget, finance, human resources, and technology to supply chain, facility, and asset management. Third is Department of Peace Operation (DPO). The Department of Peace Operation is a department of United Nations charged with the planning, preparation, management, and direction of UN peacekeeping operations. Materials and resources needed. Laser flashlight, straight baton, pager, bulletproof vest, binoculars, tent, shield, handcuff, holster, handgun, and knives. These materials are required for the project and program of the police and military, as well as for the safety of citizens in countries A and B. These materials should not be used unless absolutely necessary. If there is any danger around them, that will be the time that they should use it. Budget allocation. Approximately $10 million. The total budget for materials is $8 million. So an excess of $2 million is for foods of the police, military personnel, and evacuees from counters A and B. Also for emergency purposes. Time frame. For the time frame of strengthen and rebuild security, since the war in country A and B lasts for 50 years, the time allotted for police and military projects and program is 5 to 10 years to ensure that the country's security is strengthened and rebuilt. For the time frame of enhanced patrolling will take 10 hours per day beginning at 8 p.m. and last until 5 a.m. in the morning. And for promoting human rights, it will take 3 to 5 years for the promotion of human rights to broaden their knowledge of their human rights. Expected outcome. The expected outcome for strengthened and rebuilt security is people in countries A and B will feel safe and protected as security is strengthened and rebuilt. When strengthened and rebuilt security is successful, the people of countries A and B will be able to ensure their safety. The expected outcome for enhanced patrolling. Patrolling will reduce or if possible eliminate the disturbances that will occur. The outcome when the patrolling is enhanced will ensure that no chaos will occur and peace will be maintained in both countries. And in promoting human rights, people will have the courage, speak out or fight for the human rights. When human rights promotion is successful, people will have the courage to speak up or fight for their human rights. Now may I call on for Ms. Janine Soria for the next report.
I am Janine Soria, who will be the one to discuss the medical and healthcare sector. Here are the three programs that we suggested. First, Medical Assistance Program. Second, Mental Health Awareness Program. And third, Agrarian Production Program. For the objectives for the Medical Assistance Program, the objectives are giving free medical aid to patients seeking consultation as well as civilians and military personnel from both countries who have been affected by the rivalry. Because they are engaged in a mini-war, tension and conflict will inevitably arise, which will benefit both countries. Those who have been injured and require immediate medical attention will be given free medical care and will be looked after by professionals. Second, free treatment to people suffering from common ailments, while for those with less serious ailments such as coughs and colds, would be offered free checkups and medicines. And the Mental Health Awareness Program, giving free mental checkup for those people who have traumatic war experience. To encourage everyone because not everyone will dare to consult, especially because this topic is still taboo. There will be seminars that will discuss mental health awareness, particularly for their mental health. We know that the majority of them have been exposed to violence, which is not healthy, especially with children. It has a negative impact on everyone's mental health, especially in their development. So I'm advocating this program to assist individuals who have been traumatic war experiences in the hopes that this issue can be resolved and minimized. Second, for those positive of post-traumatic stress disorder or PSTD should be taken care of with professionals. While on the agrarian production program, first, conducting free seminars to those affected farmers to enrich again their farming. Despite the fact that the fight in each country has lasted over 50 years and the economies of both countries are still thriving on a daily basis, the shortage of natural resources such as agriculture cannot be avoided since they are still in the midst of a mini war. Because of the dispute over land consists of rainforests, suitable farmlands, rich mineral resources, and the suspicion of having oil underground, if the two countries have a rich agricultural sector, they will be unable to compete with each other and also will help each side to reconcile. Second, farmers are being given free crops in order to restart their planting. For the program to be successful, the brief extended period that will assist them boost their production must be maintained. For the participants, the target participants are, are all those who are affected by the war, whether civilians from both countries or military personnel. Approximately 10,000 families and 10,000 individuals were contacted, along with 5,000 military members for a total of 25,000 persons in both countries. Because only a small conflict is going on each side, only a few individuals are impacted, and they are only those who live near the two countries' borders. Those are part of the community that is unsure of their nationality or whether they support country A or B. And also they are the ones living in the location which is taken by the two countries, so they are the most affected by the rivalry. For the department and agency concerned, first, World Health Organization. This organization is concerned with the overall protection of health, so it can help us in resolving the health issue in both countries. We know that this organization's role is to lead partners in global health responses and to direct international health within the UN system. Second, the Department of Agriculture is responsible for the promotion of agricultural development growth that will surely benefit the both countries. For the materials and resources needed, for the medical assistance program, the materials needed are ambulance, sterilizer, basic diagnostics such as vital signs monitors, blood pressure monitor, thermometer, pulse oximeter, etc. Body weight scales and height rods, bariatric, pediatric wheelchair, bed scales, etc. Emergency equipment and supplies such as airways, aspirators, oxygen, mask, resuscitation bag, and for the PPE or the personal protective equipment such as gloves, aprons, eyewear, face masks, and PPE dispenser, stethoscopes, telephones, and wheelchairs. When organizing a caravan, these materials and equipment are essential. Some will be used for a long time, while others are disposable that will be thrown away and replaced as soon as possible. These materials are critical for the program's success and they will be handled by qualified professionals. Medicines needed for treatment in common illness are paracetamol, antibiotic, antihistamines, antacid, anti-inflammatory, hydrochloroquine cream, and such. For the mental health checkup, there is no need for materials and resources. The most important is emotional support that will help a patient. In this program, we don't need a resources because when conducting mental health checkup and consultation, only the forensic clinician will be asked through the consultative process to respond to certain questions while on the agricultural products such as crops and agricultural machinery such as tractors, combines, planters, sprayers. These materials or equipment are the most necessary for the successful growth of the agricultural sector. It is used for planting and harvesting in order to accelerate and facilitate planting and harvesting for faster agricultural growth. For the budget allocation, the budget allocated in this program for the medical assistance program is 20 million rather. $20 million. We allocated this to the medical assistance budget since there is a lot to be provided in terms of medical tools and medicine. And most of the materials are disposable and must be replaced as soon as possible. We also know that we will need a lot of medicine because it is the most in demand. Well, for the agricultural sector, such as agricultural sector worth $1 million is allocated. In comparison to the medical program, the allocated budget is smaller here because only crops and equipment are required. As I previously stated, this will help to accelerate each country's agricultural growth. For the time frame, first, the time spent if possible 12 hours every day for 3 months is somehow enough with 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. shifts, which is very helpful, especially in the medical sector, to help individuals impacted by this mini war. 3 months will be more than enough. Nonetheless, the specialists in charge will be hands-on and will devote their full attention to it because they have a shift to follow. We choose the 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. shift since it's just a mini war. The only people who will be affected are those in the community near the affected region. While on the mental health programs, there are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. shift for 6 months. According to the research, 3 to 6 months is the best time to really focus on treating those who have PSTD. It is not only community members who need to be treated here, but especially military personnel because they are the ones who are exposed to violence, and their mental health sometimes does not allow them consume that event. So some of them are positive in PSTD and will be treated by the professionals. For the agrarian program, that will spend more time conducting seminars with 4 hours per week for 4 months. In comparison to other programs, there is not much required here because it is merely seminars that will teach and enlighten them more about agriculture. Most of them are already trained and knowledgeable in this area because they have been farming for a long time. We will assist individuals who were affected by the mini war, particularly those who want to start a business in agriculture. We will educate them on the importance of agricultural sector in this war since it is one of the roots of the turmoil. And in order to minimize and end the conflict between the two countries, we must be able to give the resources they require to strengthen their respective economies. And last, for the expected outcome, on the medical assistance program, in terms of the medical field, it will reduce the number of persons afflicted. Since of the initiatives will put in place to aid with the dispute between the two countries, we believe we'll be able to limit the number of people who will be affected by this upheaval because we will be able to give what they require in the medical field. Second, for the mental health awareness program, it is impossible to say that it will be minimized because we cannot control each other's feelings, emotions, and experiences, but we will assure it will not increase and we will able to avoid the more serious mental health difficulties in both countries. As previously stated, we cannot control the number of people who will develop a mental health problem, but we can provide them with our full support in order to help them recover. We cannot please the people to be cured immediately, but we can provide them with the emotional support that they need. And as a result, the number of people affected will be reduced rather than increased because they will have a foundation on how to care for themselves in terms of mental health. And last, for the agrarian production program, each country's agricultural industry will be more prosperous. As a result, the conflict between the two countries will be reduced because neither of them will be selfish and neither will they have an interest on occupying the community on their border and leaving it to the people who will there because they already have an abundant and prosperous agriculture sector that will benefit their country. For the next reporter, please.
Hello, my name is Maria Cecilia M. Brumio, and I will be discussing about the interagency operation. Here are the projects we suggested. First one is stability and support operations. Second is peacetime and conflict operations. And third is development and promotion. promotions of the standards for national legislation. For the objectives, stability and support operation, implication in interagency operations, legal guidance throughout the operation is obtained to ensure that he adheres to any illegal restrictions on the use of military personnel, materials, and funds. To ensure that combat health support planners have a complete understanding of the capabilities available from other agencies involved in the operation. This objective is for medical health threat assessment. These assessments include the medical threat to the deploying forces and to the residents in the area of operation. It provides humanitarian care and assistance to disaster victims, enhancing readiness by real-time hands-on training. The objectives for peacetime and conflict operations direct every military operation towards a clearly dense, decisive, and attainable objective, enhances freedom of action by reducing vulnerability to hostile acts, influence, or surprise. This objective plan for military operation in peacetime and conflict. Commander must tailor a force that is suitable for the mission. Sus- sus- Suitability is the measure of a force capability against possible threats and the diplomatic acceptability of the chosen force. Acceptability is based on the force's appropriateness given diplomatic consideration and qualities that are consistent with accomplishment of national interests and objectives. The objectives for development and promotion of the standards for national registration in terms on livelihood, it encouraged more women, farmers, and fisherfolk to be part of the association that may have a voice in project planning. This can be done during dialogues and sessions with community. And for the peace building, it developed comprehensive program outcome indicators for peace building interventions. Indicator may be classified according to the identified categories: security, economic productivity, and political or justice. For the participants in stability and support operation, combat health support commander and planners, security assistance, as part of peacekeeping efforts, stability operation, which are post-conflict militaries operation to provide peace and security to a region or country. Counting challenge for both military strategists and civilian politicians by delivering effective strategic suggestion. RAND research has benefited those involved in unified stabilization, peacekeeping, and security transition and reconstruction. For the participants of peacetime and conflict operation, military support to civil authorities, nations, assistance, or support to counterinsurgency. Military peacekeeping operations support diplomatic efforts to achieve or maintain peace in areas of potential or actual conflict. The single most important requirement of a peacekeeping operation is consent to the operation by all the parties to the dispute. Such consent represents an explicit agreement permitting the introduction of a neutral third party. Department agencies combat health support implications in interagency operation. Combat health support provides the capability to prevent, collect, treat, and evacuate injured or wounded soldiers. Command, control, communications, computer,